we are outside of Indianapolis on our way to visit our friend Rob in Nashville, Tennessee. Staying the night there before we head out tomorrow night. We're approaching Indianapolis and it will be our last time going through this awful city, hopefully. But we're on our way. And the boys are alright. They're handling it pretty good. Amanda's alright.
And Oreo's hiding underneath the seat because he's a freak. But we're on our way to Vegas, baby. Nothing but nothing.
Now entering Kentucky.
Goodbye, Indiana. Hello, Kentucky.
Here we are in Oklahoma. Amanda's driving for her first time this trip. We got Leonardo locked in the back because he's being a butthead. He wants to crawl all over everybody. I can handle it for the most part, but Amanda's worried about it, so we got him locked back there. And Oreo's down here somewhere, chilling. He's been asleep most of the trip. He's been a good cat. Peyton Manning just threw his second interception in the first half of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. Super Bowl. I've been smoking a little. Anyway, choke artist. You're a choke artist, Peyton Manning. You like to choke. You like to choke on that defense. Choke on that defense, son. #1 defense, Seattle. 21-0. Eat it. Eat that D. Eat that D. Eat that D.
It's not, it's 114. Hold on.
Huh? You're knocking on the wrong door. I think it's the next door over.
Yeah, it's down further.
You looking for the...
Yeah, it's down where the mattress is out.
Yeah, down there where the mattress is out.
Yeah.
And the boxes. No, I dropped it, but I don't want to go spook them. Here, let me see your cigarette. What was that?
That was over here. I think he dropped some. Oh, I think it's the trash truck or something.
Alright. It's one of those situations. Everybody, not only me, but other men really part of that. What happened to you? I don't I'm gonna say, I'm exhausted. No harm, no blame. No harm, no blame. I mean, it's tight.
A sergeant down here. Yeah, they came in with them drawn too.
Yeah.
Why are they just going through shit, throwing it everywhere? Huh? Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. No.
Hmm? Why?
It's on the steps. I understand.
I didn't realize it was that many cops down here. I saw two going like this.
Well, they came in with their guns drawn, shotguns, everything.
What the hell happened?
I guess all night they've been fighting, like the guy and girl that live in the apartment next to her were fighting, and she's left like 3 times and keeps coming back, and then they were helping her or whatnot, and the old guy that lives next to him came out and sat in front of their house with a huge like machete.
Yeah, it
knife.
was a machete.
Oh yeah,
He's
that,
threatening.
that guy's got
That guy
a machete.
came out.
He was threatening him with a machete.
Well, and the
Like,
dude came out and he's like, get on the ground, I'm gonna cut you and stuff like that. Because you're not supposed to be here. And then he went down to the office and started yelling at Rod.
yeah, it's a different story if you want to throw down fisticuffs.
Yeah.
You know, but you start threatening
You're sitting
somebody
there
with a
like-
large
That
knife.
lady right there, I know her boyfriend's got a machete.
Yeah, he's over there
Yeah,
in
he's up there
handcuffs.
in handcuffs.
He's the one.
He's the
Yeah.
one sitting out there in front of their apartment with the machete.
He got
So
it,
he's
yeah,
like,
he was-
young kids coming
yeah,
out
got
and
it,
he's like, get on the
Like
ground, I'll cut you.
he's gonna go to jail for intimidation with a deadly
Oh,
weapon.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, you don't. I keep telling him keep that damn thing in the house. He don't want.
Well,
to
you know, you want to have a fist fight over this shit. Cops will go, you know what?
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, you want to press charges? No. You want to press charges? No. But
When it comes to...
You start bringing out a weapon, you got to see.
Well, when you're sitting in front of their window with it, you
Oh, I
know,
didn't do nothing.
Well, it's considered a deadly weapon because
Yeah.
the blade's over 6 inches.
Well, and then you're sitting right in front of the window, and as soon as they open the door, start to come out, you're telling them to get on the ground, you're gonna tell them. Like, so.
I mean, I'll give them a statement if they want one. I saw it. But.
Yeah.
Well, I came home and I saw him fighting with that other guy sitting on the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The police were out here yesterday twice, I think.
Yeah.
And nobody went to jail.
Well, that was because of the domestic dispute. That was because of the domestic dispute because of him and his girlfriend yesterday.
Yeah.
But apparently, like, they haven't been getting along for a while.
But my problem is she kept coming back. Like, if it's bad, don't come back.
Yeah. I have no sympathy for someone who keeps coming back to.
The lieutenant shows up, you know something's pretty bad.
Oh, someone's going to jail.
Yeah.
If
that guy right there is a lieutenant.
Yeah. If bars show up,
Yeah.
you're going to. Someone's going to jail.
Somebody's going to jail. Somebody done fucked up.
Their pay grade is too high for someone not to go to jail.
Yeah. Usually
Like,
they send sergeants out here, but when they get a fucking lieutenant out here, that's not good.
Yeah. Well, and that guy in the handcuffs, he went down and started yelling at Ron. Ron told him, get yourself and get off my property. He came out with a baseball bat because he's down here yelling, this guy's not supposed to be here. And he's like, they're getting their stuff and moving, leave him alone.
yeah, but we wouldn't let him leave his house.
Yeah, he
Like,
wouldn't even let him walk outside. As soon as he opened
Yeah.
the door, he's like, get on the ground, I'll cut you. So, something had to be done, really.
What's up?
Nice rifle, I like that.
Just a shotgun.
Yeah. I got a 410 if you want to buy one.
Is that like a Remington 500 or a Winchester? You're not a. You're a cop and you're not a gunman.
Yeah, I got a bunch of shotguns. My mom was a cop for 30 years in the LA County Sheriff's Department. Yeah, she wore gold bars on her collar too. That's why I'm over here.
Yeah, probably.
That's
Probably.
why I'm here. She's in California. Man. I love my mother, but damn, that woman drives me crazy.
Just state your name, where we're at, and what's going on.
All right, my name is Ryan Bundy. We're in Riverside, Nevada, and we are here to stand our ground against the federal government's tyranny.
Okay, and has anything specific happened to you that you would like to talk about real quick?
Well, me and my family are one and the same. I haven't had too many run-ins besides snipers trained on me and watching my brothers being taken down a time or two. But the whole issue isn't about their incidents here. It's about the reason we're here all together.
Exactly. So, what exactly are they doing to your, family's cattle and to the ranch itself?
Well, they're destroying the ranch, but more importantly, they're destroying our rights and our freedoms, our liberties.
So they're violating your private property rights and your other civil rights guaranteed by the Constitution?
Well, I don't know if you noticed the First Amendment areas they have posted around. That's always a touchy subject for somebody, but that still is the least of it. The major problem here is the question of ownership. Who owns this land? Now, according to the Constitution of the United States, there's only one place that the federal government can own land within an admitted state of the Union. And that does not include large tracts of land. That's limited to military bases and arsenals and stuff like that. And so all this area that they're claiming to be federal ground has no constitutional basis.
Right.
And so according to the Constitution, when a state enters the Union, all of its land belongs to the state. And yet that's not what's going on here in Nevada or the other 11 western states.
Well, I want to thank you for, what you're doing out here and standing up, for your family's rights and everybody else's along with it too. I'm glad to be out here supporting you guys, and I hope this all works out for the better. But how do you think this is going to affect, you know, how people view the government here in the state of Nevada and in this county in particular?
Well, I don't know how they're going to view it. I can definitely see what's being portrayed by the government now is that they are the total authority at this point. There's a totalitarian situation going on here. I don't know if you've viewed their compound up there or not, but
Not yet. We're going to go find out where it is and go have a look at it.
But anyway, they've got 200 something plus federal agents here. They've got a big military compound with high-tech surveillance equipment. They've had high-tech surveillance equipment on the hills here, videoing and listening on every word we say. They've had snipers on the hills trained down upon us. You ever seen the movie Red Dawn? That's kind of what it looks like around here. You can't even step off the white line without them, accosting you. And if they have the power to do this temporarily, then what's to prevent them from having the power to do it permanently?
Right.
And interestingly enough, on the east side of Lake Mead, that's the way it is set up permanently now. So it's not something that's just foreseen in the far future. It's something that's happening right now.
All right, and what would you like to say to David Vanderbeek, who's running for governor, about your situation?
Well, make sure he understands the Constitution.
Oh, he does very well.
That's good, because too many people don't. And the other thing I want to make sure he realizes is the grazing rights and the mineral rights and the other rights that are upon the land. Regardless of who owns this land, whoever has title, and we claim it belongs to the state and the county, but there's rights attached to this land as well. So even if the state took over this land, as they should do, there's still rights attached that belongs to individuals. And those we make sure we recognize those after we take this land back.
All right, well, I want to thank you for your time. It was a very good interview. And best of luck, brother.
Thank you.
I'm Margaret Houston, and we're in Riverside, Nevada, demonstrating, just picketing. And earlier today we seen about 14 vehicles coming down, BLM vehicles coming down off the mountain. They had a dump truck and pulling a loader. And so we thought, what are they doing with the loader? What are they, So we kind of headed off and kind of blocked them off a little bit. Not blocked them off. They could have, some of them left. But we was, screaming, hollering, saying, get out of here, go home. And, I was saying, why do you can't herd cattle with the loader. What are you doing up there shooting and burying our cows? Wanted to see what was in the dump truck. We seen that there was water thing, the systems that we had up there to water the cattle. They had ripped them out. Maybe that's what they were using the loader for. But they were taking the water away from the cows. And so we confronted them, just scream and holler and tell them to get out of here. And I kind of got in front of one of the BLM trucks and they just kept coming. So I just kept backing up and they were pushing me with the truck. Then somebody said, get up, not BLM, somebody in the group said, move back, Margaret, before you get hurt. So I did. And then there was another truck coming, so I just got on the side of it. Let me take a drink. On the side of it, and just hollering, get out of here. And the BLM guy, hit me from the back, got his arm around me. I don't remember exactly, they told me, but they got him, and he just shoved me as hard as he could to the ground, landed on my knees and hands, and it didn't knock me out or saying, kind of just stunned me because I was shocked because I couldn't believe that he just did that. It was like a football tackle, kind of like thing. It hit hard, and then I got up, and as soon as I got up, he was in my face with a taser gun, and I just said, shoot, 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 tase me, and I just started screaming again, and then he went somewhere else, and then there was 4 or 5 of them, and we just was telling them to get out of here, and
Okay, and do you have any wounds from this encounter?
Yeah, they knocked me on my knee, so I have that. And then my wrist, you know, it's not hurt too bad, but right here on my finger.
Yeah.
And I feel I'm getting stiffer, you know, as I get up and down. I mean, my knee's getting, you know, it's bruised, and it's, you know, it's getting stiff. But just the jolt, you know, I'm sure I'm going to be sore tomorrow and whatever from the jolt. But,
Well, and then there's, you know, the mental ramifications
yeah,
of this.
I mean, it just, yeah, that, and there was plenty of guys around. Why didn't they throw a guy down? Maybe they were afraid of them, you know, that they would come up punching. You know, and I come up fighting, just telling them, you know, who hit me, you know, you're going to hit a, you know, a 57-year-old woman, and, you know, I was throwing that I have 11 kids out, you know, whatever, just throwing out, and I kept saying, who hit me, who hit me?
Well, a lot of totalitarian governments would pick on women as a sign to their men that, look, we'll do it to this lady, we'll do it to your woman
maybe,
too.
Maybe that was
you know,
the deal, and you know, and then, you know, and of course when they threw me down, people were screaming, hollering, how can you do that? And you know, and they were tasing, you know, they tased my nephew and that kind of thing. I was surprised that they didn't tase more. They did let the dog get to Ammon a little bit as they were tasing him, but he kicked the dog, and so he backed off. But yeah, I was surprised that they didn't tase. I mean, they all had their taser shoot, you know, pointing at us and tell us they're going to let the dogs loose or tase us, and you know, so.
Okay, Margaret, well, thank you for your testimony.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And it's awesome that you're out here doing this.
Okay, well, Clive is my brother. This is family. This is where I was raised. This is where I've seen the cattle on the river. It's how it's supposed to be, and it's and not even turtle cowboy. I mean, cowboy, turtle, cow. It is our freedom. They're taking it away inch by inch, and we need to stand up.
It doesn't matter what their excuse is.
Exactly.
They're taking our freedoms.
I mean, that's right. That's right. And we need to fight, America. We need to fight.
Thank you.
Mama's a naughty.
Say it again.
Mama's a naughty. Mama's a naughty. Mama's a naughty. Mama's a naughty.
This right here, you guys, is where cops threatened to shoot and kill me as I tried to place my hand on that railing right there as I made an attempt to try to walk backwards naked as I was instructed. My wife stood right there and watched them threaten to kill me. I slowly walked back as I was instructed, and they threatened to sick a dog on me. I came out here barefoot backwards. They put handcuffs on me. Then they proceeded to take me down the alley. I'm going to take a little walk for you here. Down the alley here. And here we have my street and my lovely neighbors that watched the cops haul me away naked. And they began to take me up the road here. As you can see, it's a bit of a ways. You got neighbors everywhere. They began to take me up to this corner here. Where, right around this corner right here, they had a car, cop car, faced the other direction, back up to me, so I could come to this point right here, by this blue thing, to where they put me in the car. Now, you might find it strange that they would park the cars facing the opposite direction. Now, is it because maybe they didn't want the cameras to see something they were doing? I'm pretty sure threatening to kill a naked, unarmed individual is something that would be frowned upon. And I'm also sure that threatening to sick dogs on an unarmed individual naked, only thing I was wearing was my wedding ring, you guys. Wedding ring, that's it. Okay, as you can see, there's no trespassing, no trespassing. my wife stood here and watched this. Okay? Imagine how traumatizing that was for her. But, to make matters even worse, they entered the house. Alright, not a very big apartment, as you can tell. While an officer stood here. Well, first they asked Amanda to go get them some clothes, my wife. So she came down our hallway to get me some clothes down there. And as she did so, cops entered the house. Okay? One of them came and stood right here in this hallway, right where I'm standing now, with an assault rifle. While another one illegally detained my wife there in the living room, would not let her leave the house. Police officers then came up my stairs here, without a warrant, by the way. Came up the stairs here, into the bedroom, and under the bed, where the guns were. They took her revolver and her pistol. The revolver she bought the day before. The pistol, the semi-automatic Smith & Wesson M&P 9mm, was bought that very day. Now, the detectives are refusing to give her her guns back for some investigation. I don't know what they're investigating. They won't tell us. But apparently, it looks like Lafayette Police Department here in Lafayette, Indiana, are doing gun confiscations. For those of you that are out there that skeptical of chemtrails, here's one for you right here. They're spraying it right now. Let me stop and get a good shot of it. Here it is, though. It stretches all across the sky right here. Kind of pewtered out a little bit. Their spraying machine must be messing up a little bit. But you can see there it goes. And it goes back a lot further than that. Anyway, earlier they were out spraying today. Here's the results of one of those. I don't know if this can pick it up very well. A little bit. But yes, all these clouds in the sky that you see right now, they're all artificial clouds. They sprayed them earlier. Anyway, those of you that don't think chemtrails are real, I don't know if you know or not, but our government has fully admitted that they do that, and that it costs the taxpayers $5 billion a year. If that ain't enough to make you cringe, guess who's paying for it? You are. They are taking your money to spray chemicals on you so you can get cancer and Alzheimer's. So of course you can, go through chemotherapy, die early and shit. It's all part of their grand scheme for population control. Not to mention that, they're fluoridating our water, they're feeding us GMO foods. Sorry to say, guys, but none of us really stand any kind of chance of living maybe past 50, 60 years old. What are you going to do about it? Huh? I'm just going to sit around, oh well, there's nothing I can do about it. There are things we can do about it. Just got to be willing. Alright, you guys. I have something I feel I absolutely have to address. For those of you out there that don't know me, I'm a very moral person. I hate evil. I love goodness. I love good people. I love bad people. Because they're not bad people. They're just people. Sure, they might do bad things every once in a while, and some of them outright do evil things every once in a while. You should not hate the person. You should hate the act. A lot of our founding fathers once said that if a society was to hold to treason as a worse crime than murder or rape, you will have a free society. Slider doesn't work. Anyway. So, murder and rape. Some pretty hefty crimes right there. Despicable crimes. However, nobody's willing to call these people out on what they actually are, and they are traitors to our country. They have spread our military thin. We are overseas dying over lies and deception. So, there is only one good rule, okay? Just one, alright? And Christians should know this rule. I'll give you a second. It is called the Golden Rule. Do unto others as thou would like to have done to you. Okay? These are the laws that should be. Okay? These are the only laws you ever need. 1. Do not murder. 2. Do not assault or commit battery. Do not rape or molest. Do not steal. Do not make false accusations or commit perjury. And the last one, do not destroy or damage another's property. You see, all men and women, great and small, of every religion and creed, can agree upon these. Alright? And that if you abide by these laws, you have an orderly society. However, if you exceed these laws, you make criminals out of otherwise law-abiding people. The laws we just mentioned. See, this is a great horror and tragedy when you exceed those laws. Okay? Because any other law you pile on top of that is victimless crimes. They are just, it's tragic. You know, it's tragic. It really is. It's just one man exerting his power over another. So incarcerating somebody who has not committed the above crimes is criminal in itself. Slavery. Slavery of the mind. Right? Because when you have such a wide amount of people that can fundamentally agree upon those 6 fundamental laws, and you start piling laws upon laws, that makes criminals out of normally just regular everyday people like myself. It's just, it's insanity, really. It is just complete insanity. See, the above crimes mentioned earlier, do not murder, do not assault, do not rape, do not steal, do not lie, do not destroy or damage another's property. Okay? These crimes or actions are those that would infringe or outright deny another their right to life, liberty, and happiness. You don't need any other laws than that. You don't need to lock up anybody else other than those peoples that commit those crimes. So therefore, all tax law is illegal. Okay? Don't need them. Alright? Now, understand the need for taxes. It is evil. Understand the need for government. It is evil. But it's supposed to remain a small evil. Very small. Small taxes, small evil. Okay? Gun laws, every single one of them, are illegal under the Constitution. Okay? That our founding fathers understood that it is a natural right. That criminals are supposed to fear a gun. Even if they have a gun themselves, they will still fear a gun. Okay? Drug laws. We should all, as Americans, firmly believe that no man has the authority to tell another man what he may or may not put into his body for either A, medical purposes, or B, well, to get high, to have fun, enjoy life. Life, liberty, and happiness, people. Life, liberty, and happiness. Okay? It's not that difficult. It's actually very simple. We need to hit the reset button. All we need are these 6 laws. Those are it. Okay? And if someone was to do these things, lock them away for a really long time. But if someone's addicted to heroin and they get pulled over and they have heroin on them, they are a victim of addiction. And then our government is further making them another victim. Doing these people wrong by assaulting them, by stealing from them, lying to them, damaging them or their property. You are denying these people life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The reason why our founding fathers didn't put anything in the Constitution about drugs is because it was just a fundamental idea. That it was absurd to try to tell somebody that they can't drink alcohol, or they can't smoke pot, or they can't snort cocaine. That they can't just walk down to the store and buy pain medication for their broken arm or their messed up tooth. That they had to go see a doctor. People used to go to the doctor only for some really serious stuff. You know. So, here we are. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world. We have privatized prisons that are in it for the money and not the benefit of their fellow man. And you ask me, probably, in these comments that are, I'm sure, to come, oh, but if you legalized drugs and taxed and regulated them, it would be chaos. There would be fires and riots and look at Portugal. Look at Amsterdam. It's not chaos. Just because you legalize something does not mean somebody's going to go do it. I like marijuana. I self-medicate myself with it. Okay? I'm not a drug addict. Just because heroin might be legal, I'm not going to go down to the heroin store and pick up the habit. Because it is a habit. People that get an addiction, it is a sickness, not a crime. And for those of you that wish to cast judgment, shame on you. You wouldn't want me casting judgment upon you because you spent $500,000 on a piece of shit house that's just going to fall over in a tornado, or that can be burned down by some passerby that cast judgment upon you. You wouldn't want me coming to your house and burning it down, would you? You would say that would be something so devastating to your life, wouldn't it? That would just hurt you so bad. Imagine somebody that got pulled over and they had a couple lower tabs that their friend gave them because their back was hurting them. They get taken to jail, they lose their job, they lose their house, they lose their car because of your judgment. Not God's judgment. Those rules I just listed to you, you can find those in the 10 Commandments. Does God say not to do drugs? No. He knows better. He gave us these drugs. I'm asking you to look deep. What would you do if someone just decided to cast judgment on you because you were rich? Or because you were homeless? Think about it. Would Jesus do these things? Would Jesus cast judgment? I know a lot of you watching this probably don't believe in Jesus, don't believe in God, and that's okay. Because you don't need to believe in Him or it or whatever to understand the fundamentals of basic golden rule. It makes me sad to see some of the most self-proclaimed righteous people on this planet cast judgment so easily. Because in their own book, Christians, I'm talking to you, it says, "Thou shalt not judge, for thou shalt be judged." Casting judgment, especially misplaced judgment, is probably the worst sin you could ever commit. We live under tyranny, people. We always have. I don't care how old you are. It's a soft form of tyranny called authoritarianism, where one man says it's okay to tell another man what he can and cannot eat, what he can and cannot drink, what medicines he can and cannot take, and which drugs they can and cannot enjoy. I don't think I really need to explain anymore. But for some reason, I still don't think you're getting the point. So I'm going to put it like this. For those of you out there that like Mountain Dew, that like coffee, what if I said it was a bad idea that people drink caffeine? Caffeine turns people into addicts. It's a gateway drug. And that I spent millions of dollars lobbying to our politicians so you couldn't enjoy your right to caffeine. I'm doing a drug right now, right in front of you. There are those right now that say, "Oh, he's a smoker. He's a bad person." No, I'm simply just addicted to this substance. My addiction to cigarettes does not make me steal, rape, murder. It does not make me do any of that. So when you say, "Oh, but heroin, meth, these drugs, they make people act a certain way," I guarantee you there are more addicts out there that are functioning right now. Your neighbors, your co-workers, and you would not suspect it, I guarantee this. The dredges of society pick up these drugs because they are hopeless. They have felt the boot of tyranny on them, and they can't escape it. And you might want to wonder, how does tyranny come about? Tyranny comes about under the belief that one man has the authority to tell another what he can or cannot eat, drink, live, play, listen to, watch, read. It's power over another. See, that is the greatest evil, okay? Because when you have authoritarianism, you have slavery. Not actual shackles, not actual chains and whips. But you have slavery of the mind. Okay? And that in itself is probably the worst form of slavery, is those that wish to control your mind. Those of you that say, don't question authority, don't do that. You have been brainwashed, and you are trying to brainwash others. You should always question authority, because authority wishes to rule over you. We're supposed to have a government of the people, by the people, for the people. We do not have that. We have taxation without representation. We have gun confiscations going on. We even have courts that pass out traitorous pieces of paper saying, we're going to reduce your sentence for a crime that had no victim, saying that you do not have your Second Amendment right, and that you do not have your Fourth Amendment right. You cannot waive these rights. You cannot give these rights up. No one can take these rights away from you. Passing that piece of paper over to somebody, saying they waive their rights, is illegal. It is a traitorous act. It is telling somebody, because we said something was bad, and you chose to be a bad boy and disobey our rules. And it doesn't matter if you disagree with them. There are rules and you must obey. That you don't have your God-given natural right to self-defense. That they are willing to tell me who I can and cannot associate with. And that I must allow a police officer into my home to search and to seize without a warrant, without probable cause. I mean, what would they be searching for? What would they be wanting to seize? I'll give you two things. Guns. Guns. Alright? They don't want you to have guns because you don't agree with their bad laws. And drugs. They don't want you to have guns and drugs, people. They don't want you to make decisions for yourself. They want you to think and feel and do as they say. Some people in history that those kind of ideologies might remind you of. Hitler's one of them. Okay? You have been brainwashed into thinking that we are the freest country on the planet when we actually have more laws than all the laws of the world combined. We have the highest incarceration rate in the world per capita. And if you want to listen to those around the world, that our government is the most corrupt government in the world. That it is by far the biggest human rights violator. You may look around and go, wait, what? Human rights? They're not violating human rights. Under international law, hollow point bullets are not used in warfare because of what it does to people. But yet, our government bought billions of them for what? Department of Homeland Security. And even in their manuals, their main targets are domestic terrorists. These bullets are being bought to be used on you, on me, on all of us. I have to stop now or I'm just I'm gonna weep. It saddens me to the core to see this going on. And everybody just accepts it. People look at me like I'm crazy. All I want is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But all you useful idiots out there that watch that brainwash box, that think the way they want you to think, that do what they want you to do, that vote the way they want you to vote. I see the chains on you. I see the bondage. And it breaks my heart knowing that you can't see them for yourself. I used to be a marijuana dealer, and I would be still to this day if I didn't get snitched on. Marijuana is the only drug I ever sold, and I have never sold it to anyone under the age of 18 years old. I never stole or committed any violent acts as a marijuana dealer. Did I own guns? I sure did. I sure did. And I was willing to protect my investment and my business from any other hostile drug dealers who would seek to rob me. These aren't petty weed dealers, these are cocaine dealers, meth dealers, and gang members that I had to protect myself against. Now, as a pot dealer, did I want marijuana legalized? Hell no. Hell no, I did not. There goes my alternative source of income. And yes, I had a full-time job as well. I was your, 8-4, 9-to-5er every day. People want to act as if legalizing, regulating, and taxing, drugs would create chaos and anarchy. I assure you, it would not. It would not. The drug cartels are committing violent acts, and gangs. Here, let me rephrase that. Most gang disputes are over territory to sell their drugs. All these drive-bys you hear about, and I don't understand why it's happening. It's because one of them crossed another person's territory line trying to sell their drug to someone else's customer. And that's why it happens. And the drug cartels, their violence down south in Mexico or whatever, is happening for the same exact reason. Legalizing drugs would stop the violence. It would. It would take away their funding, so then they can't buy their guns. What power would they have? They don't have no money. The gangs would, dissipate. They don't have any guns. They would have no reason to stay together. And our government is concerned where, terrorists get their funding. And why is that? Because they buy guns and they buy bombs and they kill people with them. So in theory, you cut off their funds. They don't get weapons and they can't hurt people. Same thing with the dealers and the drug cartels and the gangs. Most drug dealers are peaceful people. They are. They're just looking for an alternative source of income, and times are tough, and they have these connections, so why not? I'm going to sell a little bit of weed or whatever. I'm going to make a little bit of extra cash. Most of the drug dealers aren't associated with any gangs. They may have weapons to defend themselves against a gang threat, or against, somebody who wants to try and rob them, take their drugs, take their money, some kind of addict that can't get his fix or whatever. But they aren't shooting up the neighborhood. They are peaceful, loving, caring people. Most are your neighbors. Right next door. You may not even know it. And you don't even suspect a thing. Listen, if you don't want your kids smoking weed or doing other drugs, vote to legalize it. Vote to legalize all of it. I'll tell you from personal experience, when I was 14 I started smoking weed. It was 100 times easier to get weed than alcohol or tobacco. I didn't even smoke cigarettes or do alcohol until I was 18 years old, because that's how hard it was to get a hold of. Yes, alcohol is 21. Well, when you're an 18-year-old and you're out of high school and everything, you start associating with people who are 21, and you're around them when they're drinking, and it's easy to start picking it up. Just open your eyes. Violence is created by prohibition, plain and simple. Just look into our history, just look into American history, and you will see that organized crime emerged from prohibition of alcohol. Just think about it. Al Capone, all these mafia and gangs that started, during the prohibition of alcohol. Do those organizations exist today? No, they don't. Because alcohol is legal, that you have to go into a store, show ID to purchase it, and it is taxed. Right now, the prohibition of drugs is taxing the American people. It is taxing on them morally and financially. We keep building more prisons to lock up these victimless crimes. People who have been caught 3 times with weed, alright, is considered a habitual offender, and that's prison time. Prison time. A space in that prison that could be housed to house a child molester or a murderer or someone who robbed a bank, at gunpoint. That space could be used to house them and, put severe time on their heads, but instead we want to fill that room with some peddly little pot smoker who just wants to get high and mind his own business and be peaceful. Now, you tell me what violence is this? What violence comes from that? What violence comes from that? Just think about it and do some research.
My fellow Americans, I'm the Joker, and I'm running for president because year after year I've watched you Americans, my fellow citizens, vote for tyranny. And it's always the lesser of the two evils. You don't want too much tyranny too fast. The lesser of two evils every year. But we have a chance to make history, ladies and gentlemen. You can vote for the more evil. And I'll tell you what, I give you my word on this. And I'm a man of my word, as you know. And I give you my word, utter transparency. When you vote for the Joker, you will know exactly what you get. Total and utter tyranny. On a madman scale, I will take this NDAA that Obama wrote up, incarcerating innocent Americans and holding them indefinitely without trial. It's just so evil. I figure I gotta get on some of that. I gotta have me some of that. He's also voted for this UN gun treaty that will take away all your guns. Like, what a better way to terrorize people when they don't have weapons? I mean, seriously. Think about it. The Batman. With none of his little gadgets, what would he be? I'd be able to put him in jail, lock him away, just like he does to me all the time. But you know what? If I'm the president, the Batman can't do shit. And I'll be able to just terrorize the entire nation. And possibly the entire globe. Think of it, a one world order. With me at the head of it. I will be able to take all these FEMA concentration camps and not only imprison Americans, but other dissidents from other countries that don't want to go along with my plans, the New Order's plans to vaccinate you with all these flu shots and hepatitis shots that give you little drops of mercury and causes cancer and infertility. It's so wicked. And I don't even think that I could even mastermind that, but I think that I could use it to its full potential. Just vote for me. Vote for the more evil. And ignore this Gary Johnson guy. Ignore him. Because he wants to have your individual liberties and die of old age. And it just makes me so aggravated when everybody on this planet could just be dying and suffering from unquenchable war thirst. All your warmongering has just driven me to the point where I want to be president. I want to be the warmonger, not just some terrorist. Not some just everyday terrorist, domestic terrorist want to blow shit up all the time. No, I want to blow up whole countries, whole nations. I want to make everybody submit to one world order governance under my rule. Not these pathetic little puppets they got right now. No, seriously, just vote for me, America. Utter transparency. You will know what you get with me. And I'm telling you, it's what you want.
Would George Washington have used an AK against the British? Yes. A resounding yes. You see, if we were to go back in time and hand George Washington an AK-47, he would have immediately took it apart, reverse engineered it, and mass produced it for his own troops. That if we were to have done this, I guarantee you the AK-47 would be on our flag. So those of you people out there that ask, why do you need an assault rifle? There's your reason. It's not something you need, okay? We're Americans. We get what we want. You work hard, you pay your bills, you pay your taxes, you get what you want. You're a law-abiding citizen. You can have what you want. Hell, if you want an Abrams tank sitting in your backyard, go for it. More power to you. However, people in this country have been brainwashed into thinking that our Second Amendment is about hunting and sporting. Yet, do these people own guns? No. Do they hunt? No. You know, liberals, I don't want to classify everybody who thinks gun control is a good idea as a liberal, because Hitler was not a liberal. Mao was not a liberal. Stalin, Lenin, Mussolini, these people were not liberals. They were dictators. Yet, here we are today. And it's such a tragedy that Americans believe that other Americans shouldn't be allowed to own guns. I admit, there's a lot of gun deaths in this country. But not nearly the millions that have died because of governments turning on their own people. Imagine if the Jews had picked up arms and fought against Hitler. But they didn't know. They didn't know they would be rounded up and killed. Same with the Chinese and the Italians under Mussolini. They didn't believe it would happen to them. But our founding fathers picked up arms. Whatever they had. They were just farmers, plantation owners, whatever. They did that for us today. They gave us the Second Amendment to protect what I am doing right now. Exercising my right to free speech. Without the Second Amendment, there is no free speech. Think about it.
Hundreds of protesters carrying signs or sidearms remained at the standoff site yesterday. Nevada officials and law enforcement officers are urging people to stay calm and leave the area. One demonstrator said they'll stay calm, but they expect calm from the government as well.
I feel sorry for any federal agents that want to come in here and try to push us around or anything like that. I really don't want violence toward them, but if they're going to come bring violence to us, well, if that's the language they want to speak, we'll learn it.
Hey babe, it's your husband. I love you so much. I'm gonna miss your smile and your laugh. And the way you can always bring a smile to my face eventually, no matter how crabby of a mood I'm in because of the New World Order and shit. I just wish we could wake up our families. I wish we could live in a happy-go-lucky world and we didn't have to worry about none of this. We didn't have to go through this shit. But we do. And I know we can get through this because we love each other so much, you know. And you're my trooper. You're so strong. You don't see it, but you are. And maybe you can, you know, talk Jesse into giving you a foot massage every once in a while. But I love you so much with all my heart. And it's going to be tough, you know, it's going to be tough on both of us. But time will go by fast. And every night I'm just going to imagine that you're just laying there next to me. And that I'm holding you. And I'll have dreams about you. And then I'll wake up pissed off because I know I'm in jail. But it's really for the best. Just to get it done and over with. We can save up money and I can get out. And then I can do some just odd jobs and stuff for cash. And save up money to go. We can pick up, you know, that money from Anderson. And And we will never have to worry about rent or nothing ever again. We'll just be able to just, you know, be together all the time and do shit together all the time. And just say fuck the world together all the time. I know it feels like it's me and you versus the world, and it kinda is. You know, there's a bunch of zombies out there, a bunch of sheeple. Just ignorantly working to their deaths. I don't even care where their money goes or nothing. I'm so glad you're not like that, baby. I'm so glad that I found you. And that we're together. I love you so much. I'm gonna miss you. So bad. Try not to cry. I'm crying, but try not to cry. I hope this video makes you smile. I love you.
Hundreds of protesters carrying signs or sidearms remained at the standoff site yesterday. Nevada officials and law enforcement officers are urging people to stay calm and leave the area. One demonstrator said they'll stay calm, but they expect calm from the government as well.
I feel sorry for any federal agents that want to come in here and try to push us around or anything like that. I really don't want violence toward them, but if they're going to come bring violence to us, well, if that's the language they want to speak, we'll learn it.
Hey everybody out there on YouTube. Thanks for watching my video. I have an issue I need to talk about here. Picked up this magazine. Well, my wife picked up this magazine because I'm on house arrest for selling marijuana. I know I'm such a big evil person, right? Check this out. This is quite disturbing. It says drones. Are they watching you? This is a whole magazine on drones. Whole magazine about it. No ads. All about drones. So are they watching you? Probably. I mean, they're already wiretapping your phones, you know, watching your Facebook and everything. And they're probably watching this video of me right now. I don't care. Congrats. You're somebody special. You have clearance to watch and spy on the American people. It's just getting disturbing to me that you have Egypt right now. 30 million people out in the streets. And, because, you know, he was arresting protesters and stuff. Protesters get arrested every day in America, people. Every stinking day. People are getting arrested every stinking day for marijuana. And for pills and other kinds of drugs. Just because they're self-medicating themselves. And then this is what they're doing. They're putting people on house arrest. Yes, you have to pay for the privilege to be a prisoner in your own home. They give you one of these. A little black box. You gotta pay like $100 for. Plug it into the wall there. Run the phone line to your phone. And then they give you one of these fashionable little ankle bracelets. Pretty uncomfortable thing right here. You can see it's made an indent on my foot. Nice little mark there. And all of this in my own home. I gotta pay $9 a day for. Okay? And they told me that every week they have 400 people that check in. If you do the math, $9 a day, that's about $70 a week. Comes to about $28,000 a week in revenue they're bringing in from people on house arrest. You do even further math, that's over 100 grand a month. And that's just the minimum is $9 a day. There's people out there on GPS units. They're paying $14 a day. There's people out there paying $18 a day. They're making all this money. Half the people, I guarantee you, over half the people on house arrest are there for drugs. And then, here's my front window here. I can look out my front window. And you look a little closer. There you go, right in the middle of that frame. That is the courthouse. It's a beautiful building, even though it is a monument to authoritarianism. It's just a big concrete building, big thing, a building that people have to go to, or else they go to jail. You gotta go get your marriage license. You gotta go get gun permits. Whatever it is, you have to go down to that big stone structure monument to tyranny and submit, crawling and groveling on your hands and knees. Oh, give me permission to do this. Give me permission to do that. I don't know. Sounds a little like Nazi Germany to me, or maybe communist Russia. Where are your papers? Do you have the authority to be here? Do you have the right to be here? Where are you going? Where are you coming from? Who's in your car with you? Can I search your car? Can I stick my finger up your butt? No? Oh, that's probable cause. You probably got drugs up there. Because that's what they're doing now. They're, just sticking fingers up people's butts. Looking for drugs. Big, scary drugs.
I feel sorry for any federal agents that want to come in here and try to push us around or anything like that. I really don't want violence toward them, but if they're going to come bring violence to us, well, if that's the language they want to speak, we'll learn it.